Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. As most of you are aware, Sebastian Rogers went missing on, it could have been even a late night on February 25th, but on the 26th is when he was reported missing after his mother, Katie Proudfoot, woke up and did not see him in his bedroom. He was gone, and apparently that was around 6 in the morning. The night before, I think he went to bed at 9 o'clock, and then around 10 o'clock there was some sound that she heard in his room, and then he went back to sleep, and then she went to bed at like around midnight, and then at 6 in the morning he wasn't around. Now, law enforcement has stated that they have not been able to find any evidence of foul play on the part of the parents or anyone. And he just apparently has vanished. Now, we know people just don't vanish into thin air, but there aren't very many lights in this area. And depending on where Sebastian walked, you wouldn't be able to see him on cameras either. There's likely cameras around in this area, and there's even a camera right here, and apparently this is where he walked, and they checked this camera and they didn't see him on there. So it's pretty wild, the whole story is. But I've talked to Chris Proudfoot. He seems very helpful. I think if you get him in the right environment, he doesn't feel like he's being attacked all over the place. And he's a normal sounding person. And he seemed like he was really trying to be helpful to get the information out there in an accurate way. There's just so much wild speculation that people put out on social media and pretend that it's accurate. And they want everybody to go, ooh, look at this, ooh, 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 ooh. And they spend hours and hours and hours instead of doing just a little bit of research. So I spoke to Chris Proudfoot, and he explained to me exactly where the garbage truck was and where the lights were in that video that Nick Barris put out on a news channel. Like, he put it out there, and like I said before, he didn't really explain it well. He was filming the screen, the camera's moving around, so the light on the right where he called suspect 1 is literally just a fixed light, but because he's using a video of a video, right? So a cell phone is filming a screen, and the cell phone's moving around. That's why that was moving around. The image that's moving, though, when he has it relatively still, is the garbage truck. All right. We also learned in yesterday where Sebastian apparently left the house and walked around like this. That's where the dog scented and came around, and apparently there's a retention pond over here, and that's where it last scented. This is just where he described. He said that law enforcement even checked the surveillance video here, and they didn't see him. So, it's just so dark in that area. So if he just walked around right like this slowly, that camera might not pick him up at all, because if you remember, if you look at the video, you can't really see anything across the street because there's no lights on. So even if he had walked by there and it was a permanently recording video, I don't know if it's motion activated only, you wouldn't see anything because it's just too dark in that neighborhood. There's virtually no lights. Okay, so what I thought I would do today is do an overlay and show you approximately what it looked like. I sent it to Chris Proudfoot, and he goes, hey, that's very good. That's just almost exactly what it looked like. So here is a shot from Google Earth. So if you go to Google Earth, if you're not somebody that uses Google Earth or Google Maps even, so on this program, Google Earth, you have to click on the Google Maps, and then it opens up the website for Google Maps. Then you go down to the street view, and you can place that little character down there, and now you're at street view level. And I don't think that was the right spot there. Let me put it right here. Yeah, so there you go. That's where the surveillance camera is. All right, then As you can see, this is what Google Earth has. It has the most recent street view. However, on Google Maps, you can see more dates. And this has come in play in many cases that we've done over the years. You can see vehicles of a criminal that were parked if they just happen to have a street view from the month or year, and it's amazing what you can find. So if you look right here, that's the house right here that had the 2 lights on it. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to come up with the an overlay, and you'd have to be right underneath there where the surveillance camera is to get a good one. But I think if you're right here, you can come up with something that's reasonable. So what I did was I took a screenshot of this and I put it into Photoshop. And then in Photoshop, I took the image, the new still frame that came out that actually has cars parked. You can see it right here. So when you originally put it in, it's dark like that. That's what it looked like. So this would be where Sebastian would be walking somewhere over there if he did walk by that night. Apparently he does, because that's where the dog scented, but again, scent dogs are not 100% accurate. So what I did was I rotated this because the camera angle is off a little bit. Let me just show you, like if I rotate it the way it was, see how that looks odd where the cars are kind of going vertical, etc. It's just the way the surveillance camera is rotated. So I think if you rotate it about like that, where this car is perpendicular to the ground, and then you move these lights, let's say you move these lights like right here over that house, and then let's add some transparency on that. Make it a little less than that. So right there. So let's say you put it right there. Now look, there's this light up here where the garbage truck was driving. So let's move it. I think it'd be more about like this, right? So there you go. There's a fixed light. So maybe that's over here. It also just depends, like the surveillance cameras are extremely wide angle lenses, and it's actually off to the left here a little bit and might be pointed more to the right. So it could be filming a different area of the house where that fixed light is. We do know there is one back here and there's one over here to the right, but again, I can't mimic it perfectly. However, as you can see right there, there's 2 lights and then a light up here, and that is the garbage truck. And amazingly, this is the street up here that had the garbage truck on it, but amazingly, if you go down to Street View, you got very lucky because the last street view on here is February of 2023. And this gives you a very good look of what it looks like and how you can see through the trees and branches. And, depending on how high the light was on the garbage truck, let's say it was one of those tall garbage trucks and the light was on the top of it, and it was just a constant lighting up the street, it could have been up much higher. But look, you can see down through here, you can see homes in the background. And let's see if we can even see Sebastian Rogers' home. Not that it has anything to do with that surveillance camera shot. But somewhere around where this garbage can is. Now, I did actually call a garbage company in the area, a waste management company, and I asked them about this specific address. I said, what garbage company would I use? And she said, oh, I gave her an address of a house that's on the street. And she said, oh, you have to actually call garbage companies out and contract with them specifically in that area. If you were in a little different area, you would have one already assigned. But right there, you have to, it's like an unincorporated area or something like that. You have to call and get a contract with a garbage company. And then also, I did call this company. I was able to see that it was like Green Village Waste Management for recycling, and I called them, and the recycling company does 7. You have to have your recycling products out there by 7 a.m. and leave it there till 7 p.m. So it's likely not a recycling truck that drove by. It was the garbage truck as described. So let's see, right there. And that's almost about the angle you would think, because here is the surveillance camera. The two lights are on the left in the picture, right? So when you look at this picture, they're on the left, and then the garbage truck is up here, and then a light on this house. So that means it's got to be in between those homes. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look up here, these are the two lights, so it would be like that, and here's a light on this house, so it would be somewhere in this area, right inside of here. So it even could be, you know, from like here on, but it has to be inside of those two lights. So it could be clear back even to here, moving along, and you'd see it from down there because there's no leaves on the trees at this time of year. All right, so I hope the overlay helped you guys see it a little bit better. Obviously, it's not absolutely perfect because you have to be about 30 feet to the left and then down and then with a wider angle lens. So apparently this is pretty accurate according to Chris Proudfoot. And I have to say, talking to him, he seems like he's really trying to be helpful, giving out specific information. He told me exactly where the dog scent trail was, where the surveillance footage was. He also said that he finally took that lie detector test. Now, we also know that lie detector tests aren't admissible in court, and you can't really, they're not incredibly reliable. But here's what I can tell you. If he had taken the lie detector test and he had failed, social media would have turned it into one of the greatest, oh my God, he's it! That's it, man! Look at that! He failed! He's the killer! He's the killer! But when he's found to not to have been deceptive, where he passed the lie detector test, it's going to be, well, those things aren't really accurate. You know, those things are... And so why did you even want him to take it in the first place? Was it just to see if he would take it? Is that the key to it? And when he turned down going on to Nancy Grace's show doing the lie detector test, or just taking it on the side for her, it was a big deal. But in reality, he was told not to take it from them and then took it from the police, and he apparently passed it. I mean, doesn't that tell you something, you guys? I mean, all I can say is my communication with him, if it turns out someday that he has something to do with it, I will be absolutely shocked. You know, there's a whole bunch of, you know, scenarios that could have happened. I mean, maybe something happened in the home, and then Katie panicked, and maybe he went and helped or something like that. But I just don't see it, you know. I don't see it right now because I never saw anything from Katie either that was nefarious. And, I don't see any of the parents having anything to do with the physical removal of Sebastian Rogers. I think he might have left on his own. And just because of the nature of the neighborhood and how dark it is, and if he'd just gone the wrong way one time, he is going to be lost. And maybe he got stuck in something and couldn't get out, and people just haven't found him yet. I mean, the best case scenario is that somebody even abducted him and he's still alive. And someday he'll come back. All right? But anyways, thank you all very much for watching the video today. I appreciate it. If you could hit that like button, share, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And, as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.